What's up guys, John here, and today I have ranked gameplay for you guys. It's been a long time since I uploaded because of quite a number of issues like either lag or just ping spikes and then just game instability and sometimes just cancerous pops. I'm just like, okay, so I'm not gonna play ranked for a while. And of course finally, I think most of these problems have at least lessened to a certain degree. In fact, the ping is pretty good now. Hopefully it stays this way. And so today I have another ranked gameplay for you. And first off, I would like to talk about my emblem. I mean my gear for my favorite hero of all time, which will be featured in this ranked gameplay video, which is Minotaur. I'm just gonna go through these 3 builds in very quickly. The first build is definitely for your 80 against 80 carry because of the blade armor, and the second one will give you magic resist, especially, and it's typically just used when there isn't 80 characters on the enemy team, so there's no need for this blade armor. The last one is just a hybrid. If you have some 80 and there's some magic damage, and mages, and maybe magic assassins, then I'll go with the last build. So of course for this ranked gameplay, I'll be using the second build, and without further ado, let's just jump right into the gameplay. So in this game, I'm playing in a trio with Zui and Shen. He's playing Akai, and Zui is playing Fanny. So we have 2 pups on our team playing Lancelot and Cyclops. Then enemy team has Aurora, Lolita, Gujan, Cho, and Hayabusa. That's all the team composition. Our team has 2 tanks, which is always personally one of my favorite comps. Double tank has always been one of my favorite comps in Mobile Legends, simply because of the amount of crowd control and all the appealing they can do for your team, which can really make a big difference in the event of a team fight. So let's start with team comp. We have 2 tanks, we have 2 assassins, Lancelot and Fanny, and as you know, assassins are really strong because of their burst damage potential, especially against squishy heroes. And then we have Cyclops, he's not really a meta mage, but he is a pretty solid mage for this season. And now on the enemy team, they have 1 main tank, Lolita. They have 2 assassins, Gujan and Hayabusa as well. So it seems to be an assassin lineup. They have a fighter Cho, and they have a mage Aurora. So in terms of team comp, personally, I would feel that we have a slight advantage. Even though the enemy team does have only 1 tank, they have a fighter Cho as a disabler. But let's remember that Cho is still a fighter and not a tank, which means that in terms of straight up brawling, our team should have a better advantage. Seems like early game the enemy team has gotten a pretty good lead because they have been roaming around and managed to get this gold crab, which gives them quite a big substantial lead in terms of gold. So what we want to do at this point is simply to maintain our lane presence, make sure that we don't lose it to the enemy team by just feeding them. So we just at least maintain it. So of course, as I mentioned, I'll be using my second build for this game, which is typically against non-AD and magic characters. So I will be closing this sidebar here. Hopefully it gives you a little bit more vision of the battlefield and the game. So now, when you're playing a tank, especially in Mobile Legends, you need to find out what is your win condition. In fact, it's not really just a tank thing. In fact, no matter what role you're playing, you need to know what is your win condition. What will help you to win the game, and so you will know what to do in a team fight or even in the laning phase, so that can help you achieve that goal better. So in this case, let's take a look very closely. The enemy team has a very strong carry hero called Gujan, and a decently strong carry hero Hayabusa. They have a very strong disable Aurora, and this troll is just annoying disable as well, and we have Luisa as a tank. So our main focus when we enter a team fight, or at least at this point in the laning phase, we are trying to shut down Gujan and Hayabusa. As we all know, Aurora doesn't really like to farm because she has to stack up her passive to be effective in skirmishes or team fights. So our main focus should be on these two, and if we manage to deny their farm sufficiently, doesn't mean we have to kill them. It just means that their farming timing or potential is reduced. Then we have an easier time to win the game as the game goes on. Now on our team, we have two assassins, Lancelot and Fanny, both of which can carry very hard. In fact, Fanny is one of the early game assassins which can really turn the tide of the team fight because she has a hell of a lot of early game damage. She can farm incredibly fast. As for Lancelot, he just has pure damage, but he needs to be farmed quite a lot, and once he gets his few items up, he can be very dangerous. Especially since the enemy team doesn't have any marksmen, I think in terms of assassins, both the assassins have very high potential to carry the game because they are not threatened by the constant AD from the marksman. As for our mage, is Cyclops, and he actually does have quite some carry potential, especially since we gave him the mid lane afterwards, because we realized one of the ways we win is by getting Cyclops to go mid. So now that we know our win conditions, we know what to do, and here, this is the classic Minotaur tower dive. Without even diving tower, you just stay under range because you know that you have the rage heal to keep you alive. I mean, easy when you manage to get a kill onto Hayabusa, and that is a good thing because Hayabusa is one of our enemy carries, and we need to prevent him or prevent Hayabusa from farming too much. Of course, once you get a kill, standard stuff, go take a turtle. As well, she has the damage. Mid is not going too well because Cyclops was mega ganked a bit, I believe, by a ton of other carry heroes and a Lolita and Cho. So it just means that actually enemy combos are pretty scary, but it does not mean we have to kill Cho, right? Because Cho is more of an annoyance than anything. He is just a disabler. So while it might be tempting because you can always CC your allies and then just destroy them, there's not really much point. As you can see here, Aurora actually wants to freeze me there, but of course when I'm in rage, I'm not really afraid to engage in skirmishes even temporarily. Because one more thing when you're playing as a tank that a lot of people tend to forget, and I even forget sometimes, is tunnel vision, which means I just go into the fight and then I realize, oh wait, where's my team? Oh, they're too far out. I shouldn't have gone in anyway. In fact, there's one more death to Cyclops. He was not really paying attention to the map. We can obviously see, at least from my point of view, I could see that Cho was going up. I had no idea where the Aurora was going up, but Aurora was missing. But what I knew was Cho was moving upwards from my last vision of him. And at this point, you see that there's a lot of fight going on in the top lane, and this might be. Some people might say that, what? Hey, why didn't you go and help them? Right. Well, I could have gone in to help, but you need to remember that Minotaur is not your everyday tank, or your regular tank, so to speak. Minotaur has this extra restriction on his teamfight capabilities called his Rage Bar and his ultimate. So Minotaur is really nothing much without his ultimate, unlike other tanks. For example, if you can take, I would say maybe, let's just take Akai for example. His ultimate is great, but in order to land a good CC, he doesn't need his ultimate. All he needs is his first and second skill. How about Minotaur? You don't have any hard-on CC other than your ultimate, and that comes on every around, I don't know. It only lasts for about 10 seconds with a small window where you can use your ultimate. So So for some cases, you might be tempted to go and help in your team, but sometimes you need to realize how useful will you be if you go in. Because in this case, your team went in without me, and you can totally see the difference. 2 tanks with so much health left behind. I mean, the good thing is our 2 tanks have quite some damage, which kind of makes up for it. If our tanks were like some very okay, let's be fair, most of the tanks have a little bit of damage, maybe except Tigreal. Tigreal is really like full on crowd control. Yeah, so that is one of the situations you want to avoid. Even though we ended up trading out, it's not a good thing because you have someone to go down first. You had someone to go down first, which is not what you want, especially in those cases our enemy had a better engage in all of us than I did, and then Akai did, because our team decided to charge in all the way. So just one tip for all those players out, everyone, hopefully we can make a better community. If you're not playing a tank, please don't go in without your tank. If you're playing a tank, please engage if you're ready. If you're not, ping retreat. And if you're really not ready and your team is fighting, just don't go. It doesn't really make sense, especially if you're playing Minotaur, who heavily relies on his rage. There's really no point in going there and becoming a meat shield, because most likely what will happen is you're gonna hold your ultimate because you're trying to get the rage, and you don't get the ultimate before your teammates die, and then you use your ultimate, and then you're like 1v5 and you can't get out of the situation anymore. So yeah, just don't. Hopefully more of the public players can do this, and we can have a better or more, let's say, a more organized mobile experience that is more enjoyable for all of us. In fact, I mean, to be fair, Mobile Legends is designed to be a fast game. It's supposed to be like whoever has a decisive lead by having quick and decisive team fights or skirmishes to quickly snowball an advantage. Theoretically, games can definitely end in about 10 minutes or so. It's just that all this messiness that comes from all this solo queuing that is really extending the game. In fact, most of the pro players in the Mobile Legends scene are actually play a lot like snowball-y and never-ending team fight. It's like which is why you can see that even in pro games they sometimes take very long, especially in the early stages. In this case, you just see the enemy just chasing full on our team, and this is basically where we shouldn't actually be engaging, but yeah, because our team engaged without me or Akai, so we all had a pretty bad outcome there. But of course we don't want to fight further because we lost one of our main damage sources. So as I was saying, actually a lot of the pro teams play in this manner where they just engage like crazy, and when they are spotted on the map by the enemy, then they just go full on engage as well. And okay, so there's a bogus engage and a bogus ultimate, and of course fortunately no one was killed at the moment. And all as well, you can see Hayabusa is doing what he does best, pushing the tower. So I'm just coming around to go and clear the lane, and it's a smart move for him to go and retreat so I can clear the lane, or he probably would have died, or at least I would delay his effectiveness or reduce his effectiveness because he's just absent from the team fight. So as you can see, Minotaur's rage is gains really fast compared to the past before the buff. So in terms of strategies with Minotaur, personally, there's really no need to hold your rage back anymore, and as long as your rage hasn't just subsided, which means you haven't entered rage mode in the past few seconds, or maybe 10 seconds or so, it should be good to engage as long as you have about half a rage bar, or even slightly less than that. As you can see, we're just skirmishing around, and then soon I'm ready for a fight if it decides to happen. Of course, just now we managed to kill onto Hayabusa, and with all damage heroes here, immediate decision is to immediately take Lord. And this will help us secure a quick advantage. It will help us push a lot faster, especially because we don't have AD carry. At this point, Akai is doing a pretty good area denial to make sure Gujan does not come and take the buff. So we have a small advantage when we engage later on. Akai jumped in, unfortunately is frozen in spot. Of course, he is tanky and he will be able to survive it. Here I have my ultimate already, looking for a good opportunity to engage, but it does not seem that we have enough creeps for that, so I decided to just simply use my ultimate outside. Here, Cho has another great ultimate onto Cyclops, and we lost one member of the team. In fact, at this point we should not be engaging anymore, but Fanny is very fun, so she's just doing her business as Fanny, and we managed to take on quite a lot of people. Cho has decided to come in. Of course, there is no way we can kill Cho because he is tanky, and so we're just like going around waiting for the Lord to push his way past the tower, or just maintaining more pressure to make sure that the enemy team doesn't have a good time. For example, let's just talk about some other situations. For example, if you are on the enemy team, what would you do? You would just come out one by one. Yeah, trying to use my ultimate to at least stun the enemy so that Fanny cannot, but unfortunately Fanny was stuck there. Yes, this is the one time, in fact, I think the enemy had a very cohesive team fight, and they came out together as one, and they're able to push us back. In that case, we probably could have or should have retreated, especially after Fanny has died. So, as I mentioned, this is a mobile game, so a lot of the times your death as a tank can probably be pinned to one of your teammates' fault. Like for example, if a carry hero died and then you're there, you might die. You probably will die, in fact. But it may not always be totally their fault, of course, because why did they die? It's either you went in too late. It might be because you went too late, or the enemy or your teammate went in too early. So your KD really depends. Your deaths, or your survivability, kill death assist, and whatnot. The tank really depends on your team to a pretty big extent. In fact, as a marksman, this is especially so, or at least as a carry hero, it really depends on your tank, because if your tank doesn't protect you, you can't really do your damage. And likewise, for a tank, you can't survive unless there's a carry hero doing the damage for you, so that they can eliminate the target and you can survive. Because ultimately, you may be a tank, but that doesn't mean you can survive like 5 people against you. And yeah, Hayabusa's out of the shadow, and we managed to kill Hayabusa after quite some time. But it was a worth effort, especially if your team knows that they're not going to engage fully, because our team is not entirely dead. Now with Hayabusa out of the way, we are better able to engage, because Hayabusa is one of the carry heroes. But last one managed to quickly get rid of Aurora, and that will be the game for us. Even though Cyclops died to Gujan, that's now probably because I guess Akai didn't really do his job well, but there's not really much to see, because I didn't really pay attention to it. Maybe Gujan's just too fast. too much mobility over there. So yeah, this is the game, and even though my KDA is horrible, you can see what happens if your team engages without you, right? So the team engages without you, so they just enter first, they tank all the damage, and you're kind of like, okay, so you died, and I just entered the fight. So what now? This is why my KD is really low, because in a lot of the cases I realized that there's no point in me going in. Like the team fight is probably over, that the time to engage, the engagement window is over, so there's no point in going in and just sacrificing your life anymore. So I hope you guys enjoyed this ranked gameplay video. And Minotaur is, I wouldn't say he's easier to play now, but he has been changed. Even though his rage mode has been increased, it seems like a small change, but it's a pretty big one considering it affects all his engagements and even the laning experience. So that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Chai, so I am signing off. I'll see you guys next time.